Hi everyone, I am going to do some revision today for GCSE PE and we're going to focus particularly on goal setting. So the first thing, when you asked about goal setting, you may be asked about why someone might use goal setting or what reasons for goal setting would be. So there are three generally common answers that you'll be focusing on. So the first could be to draw attention to a particular target or focus the performer on what they are trying to achieve, and that allows an improved performance because of that improved focus. The next is it will always increase motivation because you've got something to work towards and you want to achieve it. So increased motivation, and therefore you should be putting more effort into your performance. And then the final one is the idea of assessing over time. So to monitor your progress, is the training you're doing working? If you've set yourself a goal, are you close to achieving that goal? If you're not close to achieving that goal, then you will try to improve it, or you'll change your goal and therefore adjust it, or you will know you're not working hard enough and then you need to train harder. So you really need to get an understanding of the SMART aspect of goal setting. So we have specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound as the SMART acronym. And typically exam questions will ask you to apply an aspect of the SMART to the question, or it will give you a scenario and ask if it is specific or if it is measurable and justify why it is or isn't. So specific doesn't tend to get asked an awful lot, but it's still, you need to understand it and have a good, clear knowledge of it. So the definition, if you like, of specific in goal setting is that it adds clarity to the goal. It helps you focus on what you need to be doing. So it provides that focus. So a specific goal is to increase your speed by 1 second, whereas if you just said a goal was to get faster, then that isn't specific. Giving detailed to the goal is where we get clarity, and it allows the performer to know what they want to do. But like I say, it doesn't tend to get asked a lot, but a scenario may be they say someone wants to get stronger. Is this goal specific? And you would say no, because it doesn't give clarity. A more specific goal would be to be able to bench press 10 kilos more by a certain time. Another one that is asked occasionally, but not that often, is measurable. So they might give you a scenario and you say, is this goal measurable? But when we're looking at measurable, we are talking about its ability to monitor progress. So if you get an exam question on measurable, put in the answer that a goal is measurable as it allows you to monitor its progress. You can tick off as you're going your progress and check whether it's working or not. So as it says on the screen, it allows you to see if the training is indeed working, and then if it isn't working, if you're not reaching your goal or on the right path to reaching your goal, you can change your goal, or change your training before you change your goal. So you would change the intensity or the types of exercises that you'll be doing if you're not on progress to where you want to be. Achievable. Now, this is generally related to what is around the person setting the goal. So is it a goal is achievable if you have the capacity to achieve the goal? Yeah, so if you have the capacity to reach that goal. So do you have the resources available to you to reach your goal? So do you have the right amount of time, or the time available in your training sessions to reach the goals? Do you have the correct equipment and the facilities around you? or do you have the right coaching? And if you don't have all of these things, then you may struggle to reach your goal. So if your goal was to improve your vertical jump in your PEP, for example, but you didn't have access to plyometric type equipment like boxes and those sort of pieces of equipment that you could use like hurdles, then your goal would be harder to achieve. Now, this is probably more commonly asked if the goal is realistic. Now, is it possible to reach your goal? And what that means is it challenging yet achievable is usually the terminology we use for a realistic goal. So, have you set it at a too high a standard, or is it too easy for you to achieve? Now, if it's too easy, then you can become bored more quickly. If it's too hard, then you might become demotivated and it could lead to an injury. Now, if your goal is too easy or if it is too hard, then both those situations can lead to you actually losing motivation because you think the goal is pointless, or that you don't think you're ever going to achieve your goal, so you essentially give up. However, if it is realistic and is challenging, then there is more chance that you will work hard towards your goal and you'll be more motivated. So a realistic goal, for example, in your PEP would be if you are ranked at average for a particular fitness test, say like the Cooper run, and you wanted to improve and maybe reach above average, just one step up, then that's going to be a realistic goal. It might be something that your peers are doing, and so if your peers are able to do it, then you should be able to reach that goal as well. So that's where you would talk about realistic. What would be unrealistic is if you go from average to the elite score in the 6 weeks that you might be training for your PEP. Okay, and then finally we are coming to the time-bound aspect of goal setting, and typically this one is more regularly asked about, and it is a very straightforward one. So the time-bound aspect means that you are completing it within a set period of time, and in the sense of our PEPs, it's usually about a 6-week training program, so your goals would be a 6-week deadline, and the word deadline is always good to put in your answers. The goal has a deadline, so it is time-bound. It might show you a scenario, an exam question may show you a scenario saying Joe Bloggs wants to achieve an increase in their distance in their Cooper run by 100 meters by May, and that's a clear deadline, so therefore it is time bound. With it being time-bound, it is more motivating, so you're more likely to work hard. It allows you to monitor your progress, so we get that idea of measurability linked into it as well, so you can check if you're achieving your progress over, say, like 3 weeks, 5 weeks, etc., and see if you're moving towards your goal. We have short-term goals, we have long-term goals. So the short-term goals help as stepping stones towards that long-term goal, allowing you to monitor your progress. But it should have a definitive point when your goal should be achieved. So that was a whistle-stop tour into goal setting, generally broken down into SMARTer, and generally it will be asked in the aspects of the SMART program, programming for your goal setting. So focus on time-bound, focus on measurability, but also and realistic aspects of goal setting, but do brush up on specific and achievable as well. Good luck in your exam.